Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Previously, we started to explore the Ashina outskirts, met some new people, found a bunch of good items, and we were given a bell charm that we needed to come back here to use. And we kind of got to a point where I said we want to turn back because there's some stuff on the horizon that we can make a lot easier for us. And the game is very strongly hinted at that. However, before we do that, we've only died once at this point, but you have to die a certain number of times to trigger a side quest dealing with something called Dragonrot. And so I kind of wanted to purposefully kill myself to induce that side quest, just in case it ends up happening to somebody and they don't know how to deal with it. So let's get started and find a way to kill myself. I'm thinking of using the Roosters, so we're going to get killed by some giant cocks here. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my way to the staircase on the outskirts, and we're going to take the long way there because, you know, why not? I do have a little bit of experience on me, but I don't know how I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a skill point out of it. So I'm like, well, you know what we could do? I could just kill some stuff and level up here, I guess. Oh, wow, I'm already screwed up here. If I can fill that skill point, I'd say let's go for it. I also have a little bit of money, so it might not hurt to bank some of that at this point. We got a gunner. Oh, got me. Okay. I think I think I still have the rust on me. Oh, there's two dogs. We've got to make our way around. I might, like I said, bank up my sin while I'm at it. Oh. That or I'm gonna die. I'm not doing very good at this. I have 2 nodes of resurrection. Oh yeah, 3 people trying to kill me. Oh, oh, that's not a death though, man. Come on, give me my skill point before I die at least. I gotta remind myself that my attack power is not very high right now. That is a problem to be dealt with. So I say there's gotta be one more person, right? There we go. Okay. That's what I wanted. Let us... Well, I suppose let's stay out of the eyesight of the Okami gunner up there. And head up here.
Gokuyo, ikaga ka ne?
Okay, so I can invest in pellets or coin purses. Let's get the pellets for now. We'll come back to the coin purses later.
死者たちにご冥福あれ。
And we are going to head towards the Okami and to the other side where the Rooster is next to the idol. I kind of want to invest in that, invest in one coin purse. I'm very close to having the amount I need. Perfect. Alright, let's head back up there then. I can invest in one coin purse at least. And remember, if you're keeping tabs on items, take them off the list so you know you don't have to come back here. Okay, so it's just 2 coin purses left and I'll be done with this merchant.
死者たちにご冥福あれ。
Unless you really, really want the other stuff that he has. Nope, I fell. Not to my death, though. Okay, so we should be good. Come on, that is a humongous cock. Alright, so I'm gonna let the Rooster kill me. So we can trigger the Dragonrot. I wanted to make sure we rested here. We'll see how long it takes. Alright, so you'll see there again, when we talk about what death does to you, you lose half your experience and half your sim permanently upon death, which is why I've invested in the coin purse and why I made sure to get that skill point back. Also, big note, this is really different from your other FromSoft games because, one, you have experience and currency separate from each other, which is not normal for FromSoft games. Because usually if it's, whether it's Souls or Blood Echoes or whatever, they serve for both. And unfortunately here, they don't take it all away upon death, which is really nice. An additional aspect is the Unseen Aid, which is really nice, but we'll talk about that a bit more as we move on. Let's kind of get butchered here first. come on, dude. Usually you just terrorize me. Oh, wow. You're supposed to... Thank you. I can't even get back up there. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. You're sure not making this easy. Yes, 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 I know. I see, I got Unseen Aid, which means anything you would have lost, you preserve. But of course, I don't really have anything worth having right now. And it should always start off at like a 30% base for whether it kicks in or not. So, which means that the essentially kind of implies that Buddha has stepped in and spared me. Unseen Aid. Half of skill, experience, and sen are lost upon death, but there is a way to avoid this on rare occasions. Through the unseen aid of gods and Buddha, one may be spared this loss. Wait, is Buddha not a god? I thought Buddha was a god. I gotta do some reading. So I think we only need to get killed one more time, because I've had one perma death before this. So I think this should be the last one. Rot essence, Sculptor. Somewhere, a pained cough rings out continuously. The man who coughs zealously sculpts statues of Buddha to avoid being consumed by the building flames. More on that later. Owning this item reduces one's chances of receiving unseen aid, and I think it's by half for the first one. Rot essence, Timid Maid. And this is one thing really important about the first time. It has to happen to two people. And you'll see why. Let's see. The coughing and wheezing sounds of an old woman deeply worried about her beloved master. Owning this item reduces... Yeah, okay. So referring to the master, I think that's referring to Kuro, because the timid maid is Inosuke's mother, the one who's apparently in I would say late stage dementia. She recognized us as his son, as her son, which we are not. So she's the one who gave us the Young Lord's bell chime, and I think that's, like I said, I think that's a connection to Kuro. Dragonrot, which is why we're here. The more one with the power of the dragon's heritage dies, the more a sickness known as Dragonrot spreads throughout the world, or through the world. Dragonrot is not caused by resurrection. So keep in mind, if you die once in battle, shadows die twice. You can't be resurrected. That does not count. It has a chance to occur only when the wolf truly dies, repeatedly. And so I died once in the previous episode, and I died 3 more times just now. So again, resurrections do not count here, which is why I didn't bother resurrecting. The more rot essence wolf has, the lower the chances of receiving unseen aid. And I think I said the first time it decreases by about 15%, I think. After that, it gets more, I think it gets a little bit more every time rot essence shows up. Okay, so I actually still have experience. That surprises me. So he is sick.
どうした竜がよよどみのあふれて振りまかれやがて 死に至る病じゃ。
なんだと。
わしのことなら心配いらん。あいにくとまともじゃないんでな。じゃが喋るのは面倒じゃ。あとはエマに聞け。
仏師殿には会われましたか？
ああ、あれは。
はい。我が師道元より聞いたことがあります。龍院は海星の力を授けることができる。しかしそれは常ならぬ力。繰り返せばやがてよどみがあふれ、関わった者に病として降りかかる。その病を竜害と呼ぶと知りながら、それを止められなかったは私の不明です。すみません。
その竜害を治す術は？
わかりません。ですが突き止めねば。まずは死の残した記録を当たってみます。
頼む。
Because I don't know if we have any more dialogue with her quite yet. We might need to rest, but let's give it a try.
死体はまだわかりませんが、あなたの体は世の断りから外れているようです。返事あれば私のところへ来てください。
わかった。
Okay, she actually did mention something previously that I wanted to bring up. And in order to bring it up, I actually need to go look at my notes because I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it here. In the previous episode, I believe, yeah, because that was the first time we actually talked to her, she mentioned something called the Dragon's Touch, and some who have the, basically the touch of the Divine Dragon is what she was referring to, meaning our power that we have from our Lord. Is the appearance of a white mark on the scalp and often streaks of white in the hair. And if you look at the side of my face, there's a white mark off to the right side, plus there's a bunch of white in his hair on the right side. And so that's the Dragon's Touch. And we're not the only one that has it. Kurto himself even has some of it, but so if you see that kind of showing on anybody, that's what that is. And we'll talk more about that later.
では、また。
I think we need to rest before we can continue that discussion. So resting kind of resets the area and allows some time to pass so events can occur. Which you can see she's in here now.
何をしている？
ああ、あなたですか。竜害の調べのため、仏師殿が吐いた血の塊をいただいていたのです。
血の塊？
はい。咳とともに出たものです。血の色がわずかによどんでいるような。しかし、これだけでは定かには。
できることはあるか？
竜害にかかったものが吐いた血の塊。それがもっとあれば、より詳しい調べをできます。
竜害にかかったものがいれば当たってみよ
う。お願いします。では、また。
I wonder if he'll have any different dialogue because of us both being here.
お前さんも来たのか。にぎやかなこって。
Sure does. Okay, so the reason the timid maid pops up to begin with is because you need a second person for diagnosis, or I should say even like analysis even at this point. We're not even diagnosing, we know they have it. But analyzing the Dragonrot and trying to find commonalities for treatment purposes, because that's what we do for medicinal research. And so what we want to do is head out to the Timid Maid, and if you've gone beyond a point or something happened to her, because some characters might die at certain points in the game, so if the person that pops up is different, you kind of have to figure it out, but if you do it this early, it should always be her. And we're going to take the long way again. So, I don't know how much you can actually damage NPCs in this game, because I just don't do that. I try not to. But, you see people accidentally do it in other FromSoft games. And you'll probably notice that Wolf puts his blade away whenever he's around certain characters, because some of them, we kind of need them for the story. So he always sheathes his sword when he's around the Sculptor, Emma, Lord Kudo. I don't know what my resurrection tally is at anymore. I thought there was somebody else there. Oh, doggos. Oh. Yeah, I got my shuriken equipped now. Just you and me, buddy. Alright, I think we're good. We haven't really got to use this yet.
I know.
That didn't work the way I was hoping it would. I don't want them coming at me when I'm trying to talk to the old woman. That's a lot of people. I think it's customary, or was customary in Japan. I know it was customary in the time to carry swords around. And I'm not entirely 100% sure on why they always carry two, but I think some of that, I know some of it has to do with like seppuku, but I think it also has to do with fighting indoors versus outside, I think. Don't quote me on that, but... Shoot. You weren't supposed to see me there, man. I don't want them coming in on me when I'm doing this. Let's let them pass. Oh yeah, we got two huge cocks right next to us. Okay. Oh, who saw me? Nothing here. Keep going. Nothing to see. Go about your day. Let's see where they are. Otherwise, I'll just kill them. Okay, I think we're safe-ish. Yeah. Okay, quick. Dragonrot blood sample. Blood sample of Dragonrot victim contains stagnated blood. Emma can use this to find a cure for Dragonrot.
これ
Sorry, I didn't want to skip the dialogue, but... You want to get in my way, I'll get in your way too. You brought this on yourselves. You know, one thing that used to really confuse me is why these people would come after us, because Wolf worked with... No! Oh yeah, the death count's racking up, isn't it? Wolf worked with the, for the Hirata family, so... But then I think about some of the events that have played out, and some of the stuff we just don't know at this point. Some stuff we probably never will know, and I'm like, well, there's a bit more to it than that, I guess. And one of the main things being that Genichiro is now running the family. It's not Ishin, so... Dude just couldn't take no for an answer. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing this, to be honest. So one thing I thought I'd show while we were here, and I was debating about banking that sin, but I'm going to put some trust in my skills here. One thing I was going to show while we're out here is to get back, because that's where we want to go. One of the items you'll automatically have in your inventory is this homeward idol. A small palm-sized wooden Buddha can be used repeatedly, held by the wolf ever since he was saved by his father. Its corners are rounded with use. This Buddha is used to return home. It will return the user to the last visited sculptor's idol or the Dilapidated Temple. So let's go back.
Hi.
お主と九郎様の幻を見た。
幻。
ああ、九郎様は今はどこにいる？
アシナの城。その天守近くで囚われとなっておいでです。ですが、城の門は閉じられています。
そうか。
She's referring to the remnant we saw in the previous episode, where I think they kind of showed Kurta realizing, that what was happening to the Hirata because of his power. Because when we started this, Kuro was trying to escape from all this. And we'll talk more about that later, because we need to see more, but he's starting to see the reality of what's going on here.
狼殿、よく参られました。
Give Dragonrot blood sample.
手に入れた。
血の塊ですね。見せてください。仏師殿のものと同じように血の色がわずかによどんでいる。だがこれは、
足りるか。
おそらくはこれで流害の調べを進めます。また戻った時に解を得ていること、期待していてください。ではまた。
So we'll rest again.
待っていました。
わかったのか。
はい。解を得ました。流害の源。それは血のよどみです。
何故血がよどむ？
あなたは たとえ海星の力が尽きていたとしても、いずれ蘇っています。代わりの力をどこかから奪っているのでしょう。
流害になったものからか。
おそらくは流害になった者は人が人として生きるための当たり前の力を奪われています。故に血がよどむのでしょう。
どうやって直す？
奪ったものを返せばいい。これを受け取ってください。
Dragon's Blood Droplet, an item that is rarely dropped by a divine heir of the dragon's heritage. Using it will slightly increase resurrective power. Restore the power of life to those who have been drained of it by offering this drop to the sculptor's idol, with the recovery charm in hand. In turn, all afflicted with the Dragonrot will be healed. The incessant coughing must cease. Recovery Charm, a Dragonrot recovery charm created by Emma. With this charm, one can offer a Dragon's Blood Droplet at the sculptor's idol to restore all afflicted with the Dragonrot back to health. The charm contains a Dragonrot victim's blood, which Emma managed to purify and solidify into a bloodstone. Ooh, is that a nod to Bloodborne? Dragonrot Restoration. The recovery charm allows Dragonrot sufferers to be healed from a sculptor's idol. A dragon's blood droplet can be consumed to heal Dragonrot from all those afflicted. Doing so will cause all rot essence to disappear, returning the chances of receiving unseen aid to the default value, which again is 30%. So let's do that. Dragonrot Restoration, and notice again this menu is growing as we go through. The Dragonrot Restoration menu is now unlocked in the Sculptor's Idol menu. Consuming a Dragon's Blood Droplet will restore the health of all those afflicted with Dragonrot. And so, if we go to use this, I love the fact that it's a bunch of Sakura petals. All afflicted with Dragonrot have been restored to 2 health. Now, if you are playing this for the first time, chances are you're going to be dying a lot. So, don't feel like you immediately have to do this every time that it pops up. If you don't have the droplets, there are others around the world that you can pick up. And if you're going into boss fights, I would say just let the Dragonrot build up until you're done. And plan ahead if you think you're going to die. Bank your money, be careful with your experience. And if you lose it all, don't worry about it. It happens to all of us. So, easy come, easy go.
Bushi殿の流害、治ったようです。
ああ。
これをブッシュ殿に渡してください。
Ashina Sake, a bottle of Ashina sake given by Emma. Sake is a drink meant for sharing. While it does not contain water from the fountainhead, it is made from the purest of waters, and is a drink beloved by the people of Ashina.
これは
あの人の好きなお茶です。回帰祝いに良いでしょう。
Special tea, you say? His favorite tea. Yes. I think I would like this tea as well. So, the sake is actually what brought up another thing I wanted to mention. There are 2 things you want to do throughout the game. One of them, we've already done it a little bit, is the eavesdropping. And if you are around your companions, Emma, the sculptor, and we'll run into more later, you can do one of 2 things with some of them. One is eavesdropping, which will occur occasionally. It occurs a lot with enemies, but it also occurs with them as acquaintances. And you can also sometimes offer your companions sake. And so you want to make sure that you eavesdrop on your friends and offer them sake whenever you have a chance. And there are 4 different types of sake, so I actually have a list that I keep of which ones I've offered to which. So, and there are 2 story kind of linked ones, so you might be able to offer the story linked ones twice. I don't think it changes the dialogue much, but basically what you're going to get out of this is sometimes it'll add to the story, sometimes it adds to the lore, sometimes it unlocks pathways in the future that you would not otherwise have access to, or it will change how things play out a little bit. So it's definitely worth doing when you get to that. So let's go talk to the sculptor, and let's get him drunk. I mean, let's offer him tea.
チリンチリンと鈴が鳴いてるな。
この古い鈴のことか。老婆が仏様に備えろと、そう言っていた。
その鈴、見覚えはあるか？
いや、覚えはない。
鈴の方は違うな。お前さんに何やら言いたいことがあるようじゃ。
なんだと？
鈴を備えてみるといい。そこにある優しい顔の仏様は、わしの彫った仏とはわけが違う。誠の仏師がおられたものだからな。
One thing I do not know about is the true sculptor. He always says the true sculptor. And I always wonder who was the true sculptor. It begs a question, does it not? So that's referring to the Young Lord's bell charm that we got from Inosuke's mother, the timid maid that we got the Dragonrot sample from. And she should be cured now as well. It was just the two of them that got sick. So it's basically telling us where to go next. And let's see. Let's get in here and see them talk. So here's our first sake for the sculptor. And you can give them all, like I said, 4 different types. So this is one of the 2 you'll find earlier on.
茶だ。
うまそうな茶じゃ。もらうとするか。しみれ。こいつを飲んでるとエマの父を思い出す。
エマ殿の父上とは？
道元。あいつは希代のクス師だった。そしてからくりにも明るい。いや、からくりバカの息か。ちとふざけたやつだが、わしの恩人よ。ああ、お前さんの恩人でもあるぞ。
どういうことだ？
腕を失ったわしに道元が作ってくれた。今はお前さんの左腕にあるそいつをな。もっとも義手作りも初めは思うようにいかず、幾度も幾度も作り直してくれた。
どうした？
忍び義手をまともに動かす修練じゃと言ってな。エマにせがまれ、駒やら何やら掘らされたものじゃ。そうしたことを重ね、忍びの牙と呼べる代物となった。いわば忍び義手は道元の忘れがたみじゃ。
忘れがたみ。
随分と経つ。忍びを捨てたわしじゃが、それだけは捨てられなんだわ。
So we've heard the name Dogen before. Like they said, that's Emma's father, and it is an adoptive father. We don't have the full story yet, but so adoptive father for sure. We don't know anything about her ancestry as far as I know. So he's an interesting character, Dogen. We'll learn more about him. He said that's his legacy. I mean, he's built some other interesting things too around the world. At least one that I can think of that we'll run into later. And I do believe, based on context from what I've heard from lore videos and what's presented in the game, is that he was a monk of sorts, which later on will hint at some of his associations. So yeah, that's our first treat someone to sake, as I call it.
牙の形を増やしたきゃ、せいぜい人具を探すこったな。乗りかかった船じゃ。仕込むことだけはしてやろう。
Okay. All right. One more thing we are going to do here before we close out is do a little bit more training with Hanbei. Previously, when we were returned here, there was some new stuff unlocked, and the only thing I had changed since is I equipped my first of the combat arts, first skill we've unlocked, and we're getting close to our second, which is a really important one. But let's go through these just to see what he's got.
そこもとか。それがしを使い、刀の修練を積むがいい。
Okay, so we did the first 3, so we got consecutive deflection, vitality and posture, countering thrust attacks, and countering sweeps. So we've seen some consecutive deflections, and like I said, those are good for posture break if you get the timing down. Vitality and posture we probably already kind of covered because, you know, it's kind of hard not to cover that when you're just doing general combat. But the thrust and sweep attacks are good to learn about because we haven't seen the thrust attacks yet. Consecutive deflections. Deflecting once doesn't always mean an enemy will stop attacking. Consecutive attacks can be countered with consecutive deflections, which can greatly damage enemy posture. So whenever you get those consecutive deflections, they are really easy to posture break somebody if you know the timing of their attacks. This one I don't remember what he exactly does. The lower one's vitality, the slower their posture recovers. That is actually really important, especially when we get to later boss fights. For enemies with seemingly unbreakable posture, use techniques such as dodge. What do they want us to do? Basically, we're trying to damage him a little bit to break his posture quicker. A little too close for that. Yeah, too close. Yeah, it's still too close. Here, it's done. So you can see how his health is broken. And look how his posture's not really recovering very well. Alright. There we go. So we're getting some damage in by doing that, essentially. Yeah, he's doing kind of a forward jump that's not really able to escape with a regular dodge, unless I go this way, which I need to start doing. I'm trying to dodge to the side and it's not working. So when you get to later boss fights, there are some that they regain posture so quickly that there's no chance you're going to posture break them, or little to no chance, I would say. And there are some that you can, and they still regain quickly, but if you can get those little hits of damage in, it can really make a big difference in their recovery. And so we have 2 more. These are the perilous attacks. So remember, the perilous attacks are the ones where the kanjis pop up ahead, and more often than not, you're going to have to, counter by watching what they do. So if they go for a sweep or go for a thrust. So this will be thrust. So thrust attacks cannot be guarded, but they can be countered by deflecting or step dodging to the side of them. Now the thrust attacks, later on we're going to have the Makita counter, which is far better than deflecting and far easier to pull off and deals a whole lot more posture damage. So I wouldn't worry about this too much, and we're going to get that as soon as we can. Sweeps are a little different. Sweep attacks cannot be guarded or deflected. They must be jumped over to be avoided. Jump kicking an enemy during sweep attacks deals heavy posture damage, often leading directly to a death blow, and you can also do some additional damage by swinging at them when you drop. Come on. Poorly done. Free combat. So that's all for the training. I think they do add the Mikiri to this after, and I don't think they add anything else. So other than that, if you want to experiment, I would say do applied free combat if you want to test out your combat arts or anything like that. I've never really done it much, so it might be worth doing. One more thing on the training is that in addition to sweep attacks, to what we were just doing, which is honestly my go-to method for this, there is a technique you can get later on where you can kind of counter it a little differently. It's not really a counter, it's kind of the same thing, but it's a combat art that you can use against it. And so it might be worth getting if you're interested in that. And this will, like with the fundamentals, will just apply more of the advanced fighting into this. So he's still not that hard. When he does the perilous, watch his body motions. Ooh. Yes, he's throwing me out. He's kind of messing with us, but
冗談じゃ。これからも存分に切るといい。
わかった。なんだ。
それがしの死なずも、底本の役に立ったのならば、意味があったのやもしれぬ。また来るがいい。底本の技の試し、いくらでも請け負うぞ。
And so, like I said, if you want to do the combat arts, like we only have the one right now, but I mean, you can go in and see the effect it has on him. I mean, he's a pretty weak fighter, but You know, there's actually, I think, a bit of dialogue we may have skipped over with Emma about Dragonrot. Let's get that before.
狼殿、よく参られました。海星の力は九郎様の龍院の巫女の力と言われています。海星の力を与えられた者は死してなおよみがえる。幾度でもまた変わったことがあれば知らせてください。海星の力が何も見返りを求めぬとは思えぬのです。かつてアシナに竜害が広まったことがあったと言います。その時は治すことがかなわず、助かるものはなかったそうです。
そうか。
我が師道元の悔い、わずかでも晴らせたのならば良いのですが。
She just like comes in with a couple blood samples and comes up with a cure, you know, within a short period of time. I wish science, you know, worked that quickly. All right, let's go.
おや、何やらチリンと。
ああ、この鈴だろう。仏に備えろと渡された。
あなたにゆかりのある鈴でしょうか。ならば仏師殿と話してみてはどうですか。仏のことならばあの人が詳しいでしょう。
And that is a good place to end this episode. To recap, we went out into the Ashina outskirts to basically to kill ourselves, let ourselves die at the hand of a humongous cock, aka Rooster, and just to trigger the Dragonrot for the first time, because otherwise I don't know if I'm gonna die enough to trigger it. Last time I played this, I completely skipped over that side quest. And because this is a walkthrough, I wanted to make sure that was included in the story. So now we know how to do the Dragonrot Restoration, how Dragonrot works, how death affects things, and all that. And again, takeaway message from this is that resurrection during battle has no effect on this. So if you ever have the option to resurrect, just go ahead and do it, because why would you want to spread Dragonrot unless you just want to see how bad it can get, or you know, you have some other ulterior motive. But my recommendation is just resurrect if you have the opportunity to do it. Next time, we are going to finally follow up on this Young Lord's Bell Charm and offering it to Buddha, because everybody is pushing us to do this. So with that being said, let us close things out for this one. I will be continuing tonight, so if you're here live, stick around. Otherwise, thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.